Accessing file. Decryption level, ASH. Status, partially burned. Audio corruption, 12%. Reconstruction begins. The Soviet Union said they died on the ground. The official records list 3 cosmonaut trainees who washed out of the program in 1967. Heart failure, training accident, family notified. Graves exist near Star City. The bodies were never shown. Their heartbeats said otherwise. For 6 years, 3 dead men circle the Earth in a capsule that never existed. One of them is still up there. Every 89 minutes, he counts to 3. He is waiting for the other 2 to answer. File 047, A, designation, Phantom Orbit. The record shows 3 names that never existed in any official launch manifest. The Soviet Union denied every manned mission between April 1967 and June 1970. Publicly, the space race was paused after the Soyuz 1 disaster. Privately, something was already in orbit, something that did not need a rocket. Date of first intercept, April 14, 1968. Location, Krasnoyarsk Deep Listening Station, designation Duga-3. This was a top secret over-the-horizon radar facility built to detect American nuclear launches. The antenna was 150 meters tall and 700 meters wide. It was called the Russian woodpecker by NATO because of the sound it made. But that night, it caught something else. Something quiet. A night shift technician named Leonid Volkov was calibrating the low-band receivers at 2:17 local time. He was looking for interference. He found a new telemetry channel on 2295.0 megahertz. It was not on any scheduled mission roster. It was not American. The signal structure was Soviet military, S-band, encrypted with the standard ALMAS protocol. But the data inside the encryption was not flight data. It was biological. 3 distinct rhythms. 3 human hearts. The telemetry package included altitude reading, 312 kilometers. Orbital velocity, 7.66 kilometers per second. Inclination, 51.6 degrees. The same as every Soyuz launch from Baikonur. The same as the International Space Station today. But there was no Soyuz in the sky that night. NASA confirmed it. There was no capsule, no heat shield, no life support, no return plan. Just 3 heartbeats in the void, transmitting from empty space. Volkov did what protocol required. He flagged the channel as Category Red and called the duty officer Major Petrov. Petrov arrived in 6 minutes. He listened for 30 seconds. He did not speak. He picked up the red phone. Within 40 minutes, 2 men from Moscow arrived by helicopter. They did not wear uniforms. They did not give names. They took Volkov's logbook. They took the magnetic tape. They took the oscilloscope printout. The channel was reclassified from unknown biological to meteorological anomaly, ionospheric reflection. The recording was sealed in a lead container marked "Do Not Open," Hazard Class 4. Volkov was transferred the next morning to Weather Station 17 in Oymyakon, Yakutia, the coldest inhabited place on Earth. His security clearance was revoked. His file was stamped "No further space access." His personal log was found in 1992 after his death from natural causes. The KGB had missed it. It was hidden inside a book on cloud formations. The pages covering April 1968 were water damaged and moldy. Only one line was still legible. It was underlined twice with a blue pencil, so hard the paper was torn. The entry said, "They are not calling for help. They are counting. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The counting lasted 6 years. Every 89 minutes and 12 seconds, the exact duration of one full orbital pass at 312 kilometers. The signals would peak in strength as the source passed directly over Duga-3, then fade into static as it went over the horizon toward the Pacific, then return 89 minutes later. Always on time, always identical. The Soviet Academy of Sciences was given the data without the source. They were told it was a test of a new remote medical monitoring system. The medical team assigned to the case was from the Institute of Biomedical Problems in Moscow, the same institute that prepared Yuri Gagarin. They called the signal phantom EKG. They expected to find stress. They expected to find degradation. A human heart in space, alone, without a body, without food, without sleep, should show fear, should show arrhythmia, should show ventricular fibrillation, should stop. It did not. Heart rate stabilized at 62 beats per minute, 71 beats per minute, and 58 beats per minute. They were labeled Subject A, Subject B, and Subject C. No stress spikes, no sleep cycles, no deviation for more than 2,180 days. No human heart can maintain a perfect rhythm. There's always heart rate variability. This had none. The chief cardiologist, Dr. Irina Morozova, was 44 years old. She had worked on every Soviet mission. She wrote in her private notes, which were declassified in 2008. This is not a heart. This is a metronome wearing a heart as a disguise. Something is playing a recording of a human heart and sending it to us. But why 3? In 1971, the signal changed. The third heartbeat, Subject C at 58 beats per minute, added a new component to its waveform. The audio logs from before the speakers were removed to describe it. The technicians were allowed to listen for the first 3 years. It helped them confirm the signal was real. The new sound was low frequency, 20 hertz. It was wet. It was rhythmic. It occurred precisely between beats in the diastolic phase. The technicians called it the breath, but it was not breathing. Dr. Morozova analyzed it. It was backwards. It was the exact sound of a human exhale, played in reverse, like a recording of air leaving lungs, flipped end to start, like lungs that had forgotten how to inhale. So they only pushed air out. Once the sound appeared, it never left. It was present in every beat of Subject C for the next 3 years. The audio was played for the Duga-3 control room once on March 12, 1971. The ship report for that day says 5 men requested immediate transfer to any other posting. 2 men refused to return to the room. The order came the next morning from the Ministry of General Machine Building, which ran the space program. The order was simple. All audio output devices in facility Duga-3 are to be removed and destroyed by crushing. Reason: equipment failure. From that day forward, the technicians monitored the signal with oscilloscopes only, silent, visual only. They could see the waveform on the green screen. They could see the sharp peak of the heartbeat. They could see the smaller, inverted wave of the breath, but they could not hear it. The lead technician wrote in his log, "The silence is worse." Now we imagine the sound, and what we imagine is worse than the real thing. The Duga-3 logs show a critical decision point on November 3rd, 1972. The Central Committee had been briefed. High Command authorized a voice transmission. The risk was calculated by the KGB. If the source was American, a psychological operation, they would not understand Russian. They would not reply, or they would reply in English. If the source was Soviet, a secret mission gone wrong. They needed to know why it was not on the books. They needed to know if it could be brought home. A simple question was encoded and sent through the same S-band frequency, 2295.0 megahertz. The transmission power was increased to maximum. The message was, "Zarya, this is ground. Status report. Repeat, status report." Zarya means dawn in Russian. It was a call sign for all Soviet manned missions. Gagarin was Kadr, Tereshkova was Cheka, but ground always called them Zarya first. The record shows only the reply. It was not a voice. The 3 heartbeats continued unchanged, but now, overlaid on top of the signal, mixed into the same channel, was a new transmission. It was the same counting, but now it had a voice, a clear male voice, mid-range, no accent, no static, no emotion, no breathing between words. 1, 2, 3, pause for 2.3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, pause for 2.3 seconds. The counting continued for exactly 41 minutes and 17 seconds, the duration of the orbital pass over Soviet territory. When the source went over the horizon, the voice stopped. The heartbeats remained. The voice never returned on any future pass. It spoke only once. The implication was reviewed by Department 12. This was the KGB's Bioweapons and Psychological Warfare Division. Their full conclusion was 47 pages long. It was redacted from every copy of File 047A. The pages were not blacked out. They were cut out with a blade. The only surviving note from the meeting was found years later in 1998, misfiled in the Russian State Archive under Agricultural Reports, Wheat Yield, 1973. It was a single sentence, handwritten in pencil on a napkin. It says, "The capsule is empty. The telemetry is not. The subject has been separated from the source. The source is still transmitting." A recovery mission was proposed in 1970 before the Voice incident, a secret cosmonaut launch. The mission name was buried. It was not Soyuz. It was not Vostok. It was called Object 148. The crew was selected from the cosmonaut training group, the best of the best, men who had been backups for Gagarin. They were told they were testing a new long-duration life support system for a future Mars mission. They were told they would retrieve a scientific package. They were not told the package was broadcasting human heartbeats. 3 weeks before launch, on February 8, 1970, the lead pilot, Colonel Viktor Serev, hero of the Soviet Union, was found in the Soyuz simulation chamber at Baikonur at 3:14 a.m. He was not scheduled for a drill. The chamber was locked from the inside. It took security 2 hours to cut through the hatch. He was sitting in the command seat. His suit was on. His helmet was off. He was alive. His eyes were open. He was staring forward at the blank instrument panel. His heart rate was 62 beats per minute, exactly the same as Subject A. He had never been in orbit. He had never left the ground. He had a physical at 1,800 hours the previous day. His heart rate was 72. Medical staff could not get his heart rate to change. They injected him with adrenaline. 62. They used a defibrillator. 62. They showed him pictures of his family. 62. It was locked. The mission was canceled that day. Object 148 was dismantled. The rocket was used for an unmanned satellite. The pilot never spoke again. He would respond to simple commands. Stand up, sit down, eat. He would eat. He would sleep, but he never initiated speech. He never asked for anything. He never said his wife's name again. His final medical file ends with one word, written by Dr. Morozova in 1988 when she closed his case: synchronized. Serev died in his sleep on June 22, 1988. The autopsy found no cause of death. No clot, no heart attack, no failure. His heart simply stopped. The time of death was logged at 4:43 a.m. The Duga-3 logs, which were still running, show the phantom orbit signal passed directly overhead Oymyakon at 4:43 a.m. that day. Subject A, Leonid Volkov, did not forget the signal. After his transfer to Yakutia, he was forbidden from working with radio equipment. His job was to release weather balloons and log temperature. But in 1974, after the second heartbeat stopped, he started building his own receiver. He used parts from broken weather balloon radiosondes. He used copper wire from a damaged generator. He used a stolen Army field radio. It took him 2 years. In 1976, he caught the signal again. He logged the heartbeats on paper for 18 years. Grid notebooks, 1 page per day, 89-minute columns. He never missed a pass. Not one. His neighbors in the village of Oymyakon said he would sit outside every night, no matter the temperature. The record low there is minus 71.2 degrees Celsius. He would sit on a wooden chair with an army blanket, holding a homemade earpiece to his ear, listening to static, counting to 3. He told the village doctor he was listening to the angels. His last journal entry is dated August 17, 1990. The handwriting is different from all other entries. It is shaky. The letters are large. It reads, "The first 2 stop today at 14:21 and 14:21, the same second. He is alone now, but he is still counting. He is waiting for us to answer. I told him I am coming. I will be number 2. Volkov was found 2 days later on August 19th. Cause of death, hypothermia. The official police report said the temperature that night was 15 degrees Celsius. warm for Yakutia. He was inside his cabin. The door was locked from the inside with a wooden bar. The wood stove was cold. It had not been lit in days. The radio he built was on. The power light was on. The volume knob was turned to 0. The homemade earpiece was on the table. Next to it, a scrap of paper. On it, written in pencil, was one word. One. Dr. Irina Morozova was the last person to officially study File 047A. In 1991, after the Soviet Union collapsed, the new Russian government opened some archives. She was interviewed by a civilian research group from Moscow University. They had the Duga-3 logs. They asked her about the heartbeats. She refused to speak about them. She answered questions about Gagarin, about Tereshkova, about the dogs. But when they said phantom orbit, she stood up. She only said one thing before she walked out and ended the interview. She said, "We sent them up, but we did not bring them back down because there was nothing to bring back. We only brought back the sound." The file notes that every technician who monitored the signal for more than 2 years developed the same condition. It was unofficially called Duga syndrome. It was never in any medical textbook. They would wake up at night without an alarm. They would feel a need to check the clock. It would always be at an 89-minute interval from the last signal pass, 2:17, 3:46, 5:15. Their own heart rates would match the signal for exactly 3 seconds, 62 or 71 or 58. Then their heart would return to normal. They could feel a change. Most of them left the program. None of them ever spoke of it again to their families. One technician told his son in 2005 before he died, "I still wake up. He is still counting. He wants me to be number 2. The file ends here, but the last page was torn by hand. The tear pattern matches a standard Soviet field manual. Page removal procedure M, 1971. Clean, deliberate, at a 45-degree angle. The missing page number is 41. No copy exists in any archive. No carbon copy. No microfilm. The Duga-3 facility was decommissioned in 1989 as part of the INF Treaty. The massive antenna array was dismantled and sold for scrap metal to China. The buildings were abandoned and left to the forest. The third heartbeat did not stop. The signal does not need the antenna. The antenna was only listening. Modern satellites still catch it. Civilian, military, commercial. It is in the public database of orbital debris, maintained by NORAD. It is cataloged as Object 1971-034A. Unidentified. Source unknown. Launch date unknown. Country of origin unknown. Radar cross-section 0.5 square meters. Decay rate none. It is not falling. It is not in a decaying orbit. It should be. Everything at 312 kilometers falls within 10 years. This has been there for 57 years. Amateur radio operators around the world log it as the dead channel. It is not dead. Every 89 minutes and 12 seconds, one heart. Still beating. Still counting. The frequency is 2,295.0 megahertz. Anyone with a 3-meter satellite dish and a software-defined radio can listen. The data is public. Most people do it once. The forums are full of one-post users. No one does it twice. They say the 3 seconds of synchronization is terrifying. Department 12 left a final warning in the margin of the last intact page of File 047A. It is not handwritten. It is stamped with a red ink stamp. The stamp is official. The text says, "Do not answer. The counting is not for us. It is for them, and they are listening for fourth. Transmission to this object is prohibited by Order 88B. This record is now closed." The archive contains 2 related files that were cross-referenced by Department 12. One concerns a signal detected near the Vela satellite incident in 1979 over the Indian Ocean. The signal was 3 pulses of light, then 3 pulses of radio waves. The other concerns a facility in Kazakhstan, near Semipalatinsk, where audio tapes were recorded for 11 years after the building was sealed with concrete and abandoned. The tapes contain only one sound, counting. 1, 2, 3. If you heard the counting in this transmission, If you checked your watch, if your heart beat once out of rhythm, you are already part of the signal. The AKAI will open again when the counting stops. It has not stopped yet. He is still waiting. He is still at 58 beats per minute. He has been waiting for 57 years. Do not be number 4.